Happy Saturday, folks. So I wanted to talk about what I'm going to term guitar economics. And the reason I wanted to talk about guitar economics is obviously, Sam Ash went under, and I'm noticing a couple of trends as I visit some of the guitar stores, which is there is mm, a lot of inventory. I'm seeing a lot of used guitars on there, whether it be Guitar Center, whether it be the Music Emporium, whether it be online. And there's some deals to be had. By way as an example, I'm buying a guitar, another one. Now let's just put it that way. And it's a Santa Cruz that I'm buying, and it's a custom built Santa Cruz that somebody probably spent about $9,000 on. They sold it perhaps to Guitar Center, not perhaps. That's where I'm buying it from, and Guitar Center had it for about 7,000. I'm not paying $7,000 for it. I'm paying a little bit over 5,000 for it, about 5,500. The reason I use that example is that in this kind of a market, which is a bull market, there are some deals to be had. You still have to spend money. Spending 5 Gs or 3 or 1,500, depending upon your economic status, is nothing to sneeze over. But there are some great deals to be had in this market. This is definitely a buyer's market, not a seller's market. It's a buyer's market. So literally, a guitar that costs somebody probably in the neighborhood of 10 grand, that's relatively new, I'm gonna get that close to 50% off. All right. So yeah, is it an investment? Perhaps, perhaps not. It could be a way to try something. So anyway, so things like that is what I'm seeing. Really, really high end guitars that are sitting for a long time, and whatever place like Guitar Center took it in, they're now willing to make deals. If you flip that script a couple months back, where it was not a buyer's market, but it was a seller's market, all of the used stuff was selling like close to the same price as new stuff and stuff. So it was definitely, if you were selling, you were getting high prices for your things. But now, it's just not happening. So what I wanted to talk about as a result of all this stuff that I'm seeing, which is like the economics of guitar, retail is going under, price fluctuations right now, stuff that are really, really high end, you can get good deals off of. They're sitting there for a long time. So kind of had four questions that I kind of want to look at. One is, when is the best time to actually sell your guitar? The second one is, when is the worst time to sell your guitar? And then the third question that I want to talk about, when should you even think about selling the guitar? And then lastly, when should you even be buying a guitar? All right. Let's look at the first question, which is, when is the best time to sell a guitar? In a perfect world, and again, my answers are not golden. This has just been my experience. If you're an economist or your experience are different, then go at it from that perspective. Everybody's experience is different. So this is based upon years and years of buying guitars, selling guitars, and just being in love with the instrument. And I'm very prudent with my money. Let's just put it that way. So there's no fool here. I'm not gonna buy something I don't want to buy or overpay from that perspective, unless I actually love it. But in any event, when is the best time to sell a guitar? The absolute best time seasonally to sell a guitar, I found out, is tax return season. Okay, whatever reason, whenever I've sold something around that time, I get the most money, and it moves rather quickly. Okay, so I don't know why, the economics of it, but it always seems to happen around tax season. Return season is when it's the best time. If you're thinking about selling a guitar and you can hold on and you want to get the best bang for your buck, my experience has been during tax season. When is the worst time to sell a guitar? This one is probably going to elicit a lot of debate. I think around the Christmas season. And again, I'm talking about individuals. What happens is, you're competing with all the retailers, all the online manufacturers. Everybody's got a deal going on around Christmas time. Okay. So to me, that is a horrible time to try to sell a guitar. And sometimes a lot of people want to sell their stuff because they want to get money to go buy something because they see all these things are on sale. But then if you have like, I don't know, a Les Paul you want to sell, and Guitar Center has a deal on Les Paul, why would anybody want to buy your used Les Paul if they can go in and buy a brand spanking new one, unless yours is some kind of vintage brand? So I think that Christmas time, around that holiday season, has been not so fruitful as far as me trying to sell a guitar. All right. Should you sell a guitar? Wow. It's hard to sell a guitar, man. It really, really, really is because most of us grow attached to a guitar to the extent that we will make excuses as to the reason why we are keeping a specific guitar. I've bought clunkers before and I've just held on too long for them. Let me give you the example that I use is a Hofner, not very thin. It was a Hofner Jazzica. This is how I found my luthier. Several years ago, I don't know, maybe I was drinking a little too much or something, but no, I saw a Hofner Jazzica and I put a ridiculously low bid on it. And I woke up and I won the guitar. So the Jazzica, if you don't know, had, at least the one I bought, had a floating pickup on there. And at that point in time, I thought I was a floating pickup person. So I get the guitar, I played it, it sounded like an amplified acoustic. So I tried everything. I even called Ken Armstrong in Grafton, Vermont. He rewound the pickup for me. I put that on. I just never liked that guitar. Then I got my luthier, who I found, Steve Morrell at the time, to basically cut a hole in the top of it and make it a Seth Humbucker pickup. I still never liked the guitar. So by then I was down another $500, $600, $700 down. So basically I should have sold that guitar way before. I was trying to get this image in my mind. I wanted a floating pickup guitar. I was after that, what I thought was the pure jazz sound, but that wasn't for me. I was a Seth Humbucker guy. So you should sell a guitar when you are trying to kind of change it into something it's not, unless you bought it as a platform. If you find out you have to change pickups, you've got to change tail pieces, you've got to change tuners, just if you do the math of most of those things, a lot of the time you could have gotten what you wanted instead of upgrading and upgrading for upgrading's sake. So be careful. I think that's a sign that you should sell something if you keep having to upgrade it. It's just not there. You should also sell a guitar if there's a lot of redundancy and you're not a collector. Unless you're a collector and you've got like 5 arch stops, I should take my own lesson here. Got like 5 or 6 arch stops. You should sell it. You should sell. You should not. There should be no reason, unless you are a studio musician, unless you're crazy, unless you're a collector. You should not have all of the same type, like 7, 8 strats. That's my own personal opinion. When should you buy a guitar? There's a market to buy a guitar if you've got some money. In a bull market like this for guitars, where there's so many out there, you can get great prices from that perspective. So, these are the kind of things you got to think about, right? So again, the best time to sell a guitar for me, like I said before, is tax season. Worst time to sell a guitar is Christmas. When should you sell a guitar? When you don't like the guitar anymore, when you have too much redundancy, when you're trying to make so many repairs or upgrades to it. There's a whole plethora of reasons. Don't get attached to this stuff. And when should you buy a guitar? When you get a good deal. But be careful and be ready to walk away from bad deals. Let me give you an example of what you might term a bad deal. Let's just talk straight money. So if you're selling, not privately, but you're selling, say, to one of the big box retailers, and you say you've got something and they're going to price the thing at $3,000, right? And you probably can put it on Craigslist, on eBay, on Reverb, and all that stuff, and you probably could get $2,500 or $3,000, right? So if you go into this big box retailer and try to sell it, 9 out of 10 times they're going to give you like 60% of what they think they're going to sell it for. So they're going to give you $1,800 for something that they're going to turn around and try to sell for $3,000. Now, it's a business. They are advertising, they have employees and healthcare and all sorts of things that they need to pay. Now that $1,800 you're going to take, you have to put it into perspective about what you paid for that guitar. Basic math here. Say you paid $2,300 for that. If you pay $2,300 for that, in essence, you're losing $500. You, at least mathematically, you're going to get $1,800. You spent $2,300. What you got to be willing to do is, I always say, think about lifetime value of the guitar. So in that instance, sometimes I would not necessarily walk away from it. What's dependent upon it for me, it's like, how long have I had the guitar? So if I have had the guitar for 5 years, that basically is, I paid $100 a year for the guitar if I sell it for $1,800 and I bought it at $2,300. So it's like little things you can do to kind of think about the value. And it doesn't always go that way. Sometimes it appreciates like that. But don't scoff at what's being asked for if you do the logic on that. What was the value of the guitar? Things you got to consider is like, how long did you hold the guitar? How much did you use it? You know, did you cut some albums with it? Did you really, really like it? If you liked it that much, you probably wouldn't be selling. So that's not the point. So in any event, though, those are some of the basic tenets for me about the economics of the guitar. So at the end of the day, they're beautiful, beautiful instruments. They can be great investments if you want them to be. Then they can also be depreciating assets, not also appreciating assets. And you've got to be smart about it. You've got to use common sense. It's about pleasure of the sound that comes out of it, not about you bankrolling some company or some people. And yeah. So just be cognizant of it. And if you've got some dough, man, go out there and buy some guitars. I'm the proponent for that. All right, then. Thank you so much for watching this long video. Whatever you get it set up. And of course, practice, practice, and practice some more. All right.